Hey everyone, it's Laura from Brook, and today I am planning on spending the entire day outside in my gardens, and my plan is to trim back most, if not all, of my roses. So late winter and early spring is the perfect time to give your roses a trim, and you can trim them back by half, okay? So I have a David Austin climbing rose in my sunken garden. I cannot wait for you guys to see this thing. It is massive, and every year, even when I trim it back by half, it just gets massive again. So it is ready for a pruning, big time. But today it's really windy outside. You may hear the fans rattling in the greenhouse right now. That's how windy it is. And I'm hoping that Mother Nature works with me enough so you guys can hear me. I'm gonna wear my mic, so it should be okay, hoping. Mother Nature sometimes has a mind of her own. But I'm so excited because there's two seasons in my mind. There's gardening season and almost gardening season. And right now we're very close to gardening season. But first things first, I want to show you guys the seedlings that I planted in the greenhouse. And I need to give them some water before it gets too hot. This is so exciting to see, guys. If you didn't catch my seed starting video, you can see that on my channel. And also, I'm going to be doing another seed starting this week for easy flowers to grow. So if you're a beginner or if you just love gardening videos, you guys want to stay tuned for that. So these are my black-eyed Susans. And I'm going to give them some water because they need a little bit. Ooh, I meant to put it on mist, not shower. Oh my gosh, I don't want to drown them. Why did I plant lots of black-eyed Susans? Well, because they're beautiful and they spread. And I also have a spot for them where I'm going to do a huge amount of them around my patio. So I already have one spot where they look gorgeous in the summer. And now I'm going to do another section of the patio all around the patio with them. The stock doesn't look too dried out, so you don't want to overwater, guys, just enough, right? And you don't want them to dry out, but the stock is looking so good and healthy. Look how cute they are. There's something so beautiful to me about these little guys sprouting up. And I know when they are out in my garden in the summer, I'm going to love it. Look at these cosmos. So you can tell some of them were really enthusiastic to pop up, and then other ones are still working on it. And truth be told, I did plant them a little early, but you know what? I'm a rebel like that. And I love cosmos. I was so excited for the gardening season to start that I did plant them early. So I have so many more to plant though. And here's our strawberries, little tiny babies. Give them some water. And then more black-eyed Susans here. Here's some marigolds that I planted. They're already popping up. And then back here, I have some feverfew that's popping up. More stock here. Look at all these plant babies, guys, exciting. Here's the ox-eye daisies that I planted. Lots of those. I'm gonna mix those in with the black-eyed Susans. And here's more marigolds. I'm not sure what's going on with these. If I just missed them, which maybe I did, or if they're just be a little slow to grow. But if you guys missed the seed starting video, I love these because when it's time to, and some of them have seen better days, but they still work. When it comes time to harden these seedlings off outside, I can just pick this right up and take it outside and then bring it in. So it's so convenient. And then, and I know not everyone does this, but I tend to, and look, I needed more Tupperware for sure. I just was like, nope, I'm gonna keep planting. And I have so many more to go, so many. But I use these composting, oh my goodness, I can't think of it. The little pots that will break down in the garden, because then you don't really need to even disturb their roots. It's just so easy. You pop that little container off, you plop it in the dirt, and it's good to go. I did this with all of my stuff I started from seed, and it was like, it worked so well for me. So there's that, guys. They're all watered and happy, so when it gets really hot in here today, and it will, they won't dry out. And yes, there is a pond behind me, guys, in the greenhouse. We had a bunch of stone on this property that came with the house. And so we have been finding useful places to put the stone. And for my birthday, my husband built me a pond in here, and I love it, especially in the winter. Let's head outside and prune some roses. Here is the outside of the greenhouse, in case anyone was curious. And this is the stone, again, that we used to build these beds here. And last year we grew a ton of annuals in these huge beds. And in the back, really beautiful sunflowers. This is all fenced in here to keep out the critters from eating our plants. This is the potager. And it's also for our dogs. So we live on a road that has a decent amount of traffic, and so we wanted to keep them safe. So it has a dual purpose. But these are beds that my husband and I built, and we grow veggies in here and more cut flowers, of course. These are 2 new roses I planted last summer, and they did really well. They were really beautiful. And I want them to meet in the middle over the top of the moon gate and fill in. That's what I'm hoping for. And it looks like they're going to do that just fine. You can see this one did really, really well. So I'll do a little bit of trimming on this, but the rose that I really need to trim is the one in the sunken garden, and you'll see why. Despite the wind, what a gorgeous day. So guys, my son is home from school today. They didn't have school, and my husband is working on our walled garden right now, so you may hear some construction noise. But you may wonder why we have a sunken garden. And so first of all, over the years I've visited quite a few formal gardens, and when we took our trip to Europe, I loved the sunken gardens there. When we moved into this new house, there was an old broken down pool here, and it was very, very expensive to fix the pool. We live in Pennsylvania, so the swimming season is very short anyway. So we decided to turn the old pool into a sunken garden. If you haven't seen that video yet, I have a video on my channel that shows the whole process, so you can check that out. But we did plant climbing roses up the sides, and I'll show you what that looked like, guys, in the summer. Have fun. See you later. My Boston Terrier Ruby is spending some time with me out in the gardens today, right, Ruby? Right? Right? And so we added in these wooden beds and a fireplace, which my husband was so sweet. It's kind of chilly out today still, even with the sun. So he built me a fire since I'm going to be working down here. But this is the David Austin I was telling you about. It is taking over. It is huge. So this definitely needs to get a trim first thing today. So guys, I got a new tool today. I don't know where this has been my whole life. Why, with all the trimming I've had, have I not gotten this before? So I'm really excited to test this out on this massive David Austin rose. So I could only find one of my rose pruning gloves. Womp womp. But the job still needs to be done, so hopefully I don't get stabbed too many times, but I probably will. All right guys, let's try these out. This is exciting. What? Seriously, this is gonna make my job so much easier. So down here in the sunken garden, guys, I do love using these pop-up bags. They're easy to store in my garage and super convenient because there's stairs coming down into this garden, so I can't use a cart. And I use them all the time for my spring cleanup. This one is taking advantage of the sunshine. I just trimmed up a massive amount of this rose and there's still so much left of it. I'm hoping it shows on camera just how much I trimmed this up, because look at all of this. My bag can't even hold it all. And the crazy part is that this is just the bottom part of the rose. I still have to go outside the sunken garden where it's grown up and out of it. So remember, we're only trimming 50% of this rose because we still want it to bloom. But I did clean up along the bench right here because I want to be able to actually sit at that. So I cleaned it up a lot through here. But let's go outside the sunken garden and I'll show you what the top side of this rose looks like. Oh, look, the geese are starting to make their nests to lay their eggs, guys. Here is the top side of that rose. And as you can see, it has grown quite a lot. So I'm going to clean this all up here and as much as I can reach here. Guys, it is getting so cold out here. I wasn't expecting for it to get this cold today, but that wind, even though the sun is really nice, that wind is really quite bitter. So I want to tell you guys, if you're new to trimming up your roses, like you just put in new roses and you aren't sure how to prune them, sorry guys, it's so windy, it's actually moving my camera. The thing to remember is you want to cut on an angle, even if you're using one of these tools, right? Because when you do that, it makes the plant healthier and more resistant to disease. So that's really important. I will say, I tend to let my roses go a little wilder probably than most. Obviously, look at this rose. But this rose is very opportunistic too. But I like mine to look a little bit more overgrown, if you will, than manicured. But there comes a point when the health of the rose is determined by, you know, how much you've neglected it. And you want to make sure that there's airflow at the bottom of the rose, or it can get diseased. And if you want to know a little bit more about the disease that affects roses the most, rose rosette, I did make a video about that. You can check that out on my channel. It talks about how to prevent it, and it's pretty easy to prevent it. So yeah, check that out. I had to do a lot of research to figure that out because there's not a lot of information about rose rosette, and if your rose gets that disease, it will 100% die. There's no saving it. Oh my goodness. Guys, my plan for trimming my roses today is looking a little bit like it's not going to get finished. I feel like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz right now. I have to come out here with a broom and sweep all that up and grab up all those leaves, but you can see hopefully how much I trimmed back. Not more than 50%. It's still a beast. It's still a huge rose. If you want a well-performing rose, go with a David Austin climber. I was hoping that I could find the little tag for it, because I sadly did not write down what it is, but I know there's a tag attached. I think it's just buried in the bed under all the leaves. So hopefully when I clean that all out, I could let you guys know if you wanted to know what type of David Austin this is. There's even more climbing roses here, and I love how this actually climbs up over the fence. However, it's now starting to climb over the railing, and this particular rose, it has large thorns, so you don't want that brushing up against you, and I'm going to trim this back as well. I actually didn't think that huge rose was going to take me that long to prune. So between the wind and just how massive it had gotten, I probably will not even remotely get close to finishing all of the pruning on my roses today, but it's a good start. Ouch! Yeah, definitely need those gloves. Ouch, ouch, ouch. This one is full of thorns. The other one, not so much. This one, very many thorns. Ow. I guess I'm gonna need to go to the garden center and, you know, buy some new gloves, maybe pick up another 30 plants. Just kidding. Hey, one glove is better than none. I did a ton of trimming on this one, but as you can see, a bunch of leaves have collected, and I definitely don't want to leave that on the canes. But until I have my gloves, because this thing is full of huge thorns, I'm not going to stick my hands in there because that's going to hurt really bad. But I do need to clean all of these leaves out of here so that the base of the plant can get plenty of air. These ones are trimmed up pretty good, but then again, this one got gigantic. I mean, it is so big. I'm going to have to trim this one back, but it is so windy and cold out. I think that I am done trimming for the day. So I am just loving this new tool. It has been a lifesaver for me today. Usually when I've done a ton of pruning, my hands are really hurting at the end of the day, especially if I have a bunch of things that have really thick canes. Just, you know, having to grip down so hard to get it to cut through. So having that tool has just been great. I will get a ton of use out of it. So before I go, guys, I want to show you a project that my husband and I have been working on, and it's definitely unique. Some might call it eccentric, but if you like unique projects, this might be something you want to subscribe to see more of. We obviously turned the old gross pool and ground pool into a sunken garden, and then we decided after our trip to Europe and seeing their beautiful walled gardens there, and their beautiful yews and huge hedging that takes a really long time to grow. Yews take forever to grow, very slow process. We decided to make our own walled garden, and we did so I think in a very unique way. So I want to show you guys because it's a giant project we've been working on, and I'm going to do some videos on it soon because there's going to be a bunch of gardens inside the walls. We call it our labyrinth, and I think you'll see why. Anyone a fan of Labyrinth back in the day? Mother Nature was definitely working with me on that one, guys. Did you see how the wind just like magically blew the doors open? Here we go again, using those rocks that I told you about in the beginning of the video that came with the house. We just stacked them along. So why did we use lattice? Well, lattice is quick and takes a lot less time, right, than growing these huge hedges. And my idea is that I'm going to plant ivy and other vining plants up the sides of this walled garden, and it will be a wall of green throughout the entire thing. Big plans coming up for this summer. I'm really excited to share them with you. One of the big things that we're doing inside here is in the center, when you reach the center of the labyrinth, it will be a large like pergola type build, and over the top we're going to grow wisteria that hangs down into the center, and then some kind of water feature in the center as well. So I think it's going to be really unique to say the least. So I would love it if you subscribe so we could become gardening friends, and don't forget to check out our website, lilybrookfarm.com. We have some really neat things for sale there, as well as live house plants. And we're still working on getting a bunch of products put on the website, and it would just mean so much to us if you would check that out. And guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really enjoyed sharing this video with you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!